All right. I believe we should be live now. I think. Why is that sore? All right. It is Monday. We are actually doing a live stream today. Who would have thought? We are continuing on with our needle felting adventure, needle felting along with the Bob Ross tutorials from the Joy of Painting Season 3. We are currently working on episode 11. We're almost done this. I'm determined to see this season through. We've only got 2 more to go after this one. Yesterday we finished putting the grass in on our pasture. The tutorial's in the bottom corner there. Here is the link to the tutorial in full for anyone that wants to go and see it. That will take you to the Bob Ross YouTube channel. Stream Elements has decided to join us today. And today we're going to be working on our pond, lake, watering hole, whatever you want to refer to it as. We're getting there. We're getting towards the end of this guy. We're not quite there yet, but we'll get there in time. Now our edges will get trimmed up here. There's not gonna be a bottom dowel rod on this one, so the bottom edge will probably get trimmed up too, because I'm almost out of dowels. And I forgot to order more. All right. So we are going to dive in here. Hope everybody's having a good Monday here. Mondays can be tough. Well, in reality, any day can be tough, but Mondays seem especially brutal at times. Alright. So let's see about getting our lake water started in here. This feels loose. Didn't feel quite like I had the stopper pushed in all the way there, which felt potentially like that was going to be a problem. Just a bit. So we don't need any extra problems here. So I'm going to try to come up right on the edge of our shoreline for our watering hole here. As best as we can. Okay, that should be a decent overlap there. So I went with the darker denim color here. It's not dark denim, but it's darker than our sky. Right, so I figured that this would probably be the better way to go here, because it's a little bit muddier because of our dark soil in the water. And it really wouldn't make sense for it to be the same exact color as our sky in this instance. Right, and Bob made his a little bit darker too. And you know, we're trying to follow along as best as we can. Needle felting is not the same as painting with actual paint. We are using fiber fluff as our paint here, so sometimes we have to make adjustments and work around, and this is how I decided to work around that as best as I can. All right. So I'm gonna pop this up gently. As gently as we can. Now, I do know that we're a little bit curved on the edge. It's not terrible. This side's a lot more noticeable, but we're gonna see if we can clean that up when it comes time to trim up our edge pieces here. It's just a little bit of water. I'm dabbing my finger in and putting it on my palm just to give us enough friction. To get where we need to go. I keep forgetting I don't have to be on the edge of this mat. Part of my brain is like, no, you need to line up the edge of the mat with the edge of the thing, and I'm like, no, I really don't. That is always and forever a constant battle in my brain. This color looks pretty good for our retention pond going in so far. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with that shade coming in here. Well, that looks pretty okay. At least so far, I think it does. We'll see if I still feel that way the further along we get, but we'll see. All right. we've got this line all sorts of uneven here. Because that's how we do. I can't ever get anything straight no matter how hard I try. It's just an easy thing, it would seem. Just an easy thing. I would be amazed if something ever actually was super straight. Now, I like rolling it into the fluff snakes. I feel like I get a little bit better coverage at times. You don't have to do that necessarily, it's just how I do it. It's just how I've grown accustomed to doing it, and it kind of works for me, so that's fine. I just kind of roll with it. And go from there. So it did take us a little bit to get our grass put in, but you know, it looks pretty decent. For the most part. It definitely looks like a grassy field. Alright, you also don't have to necessarily do the whole brushing down the back thing. I just kind of do that because I find the front tends to lay a little bit flatter, and I don't get quite so many like peaks and valleys. Alright, so I'm going to try to stab in along our line here with a little bit overlapping. And, you know, we'll just kind of go from here. Sometimes I'll work the whole edge all the way over before I typewriter my way back to the end here. Today, I don't know, say I've just been wanting to get this edge in first, I guess. Not sure quite why I'm clinging to working on this side at the moment. Just kind of am. Now, this particular shade has, or this particular blue has several different shades that make it, it seems. So that's why it looks a little variegated in there with some darks and lights happening. Actually a little bit excited to start doing some of our own stuff. I think I've got enough confidence now to go back and start doing that, or you know, using other reference photos. That I've come across. Okay, so now it's almost the same shade as our mat, isn't it? Looks like we could use just a little bit more tapping down into here. Just a little bit. We actually had a couple tornado warnings in the area last night with that last round of severe weather we had come through yesterday evening. We were just above and just below a couple of them. We had our own severe thunderstorm warning that had a tag on it for one possible, but it never really seemed to storm again. It was weird. It rained. Oh, it rained like a bitch. And we definitely needed it. It was raining cats, dogs, llamas, you name it. Goats. We really needed the rain, so that was good. It's been a very dry winter. An incredibly dry winter, actually. The way it was coming down, it was a good thing. Don't know how much it helped, but it definitely did. Okay. These are a little bit larger chunks than I usually work with, so it takes us a few extra minutes to get these guys tapped into place. But yeah, that seems like a good color choice here. Now, Bob's already put his lake in for the most part, so this is just us coming back and doing it. He put his in the very beginning, so we're just kind of trying to make up some lost ground here, essentially. Oh gosh, you can see how much it's like bowed out there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we'll see how it does as we go here. I might have to get our template back out. And retrace around it, maybe with our chalk marker that can just get brushed off. If it comes to it, or it just can just be a little bit uneven. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the unevenness? Unevenness. It sounded weird the first time I said it. Of something like this? Does it give it the more definitive handmade feel, look to it? Gives it its own character? Or do you prefer clean, crisp, inline edges? That are all nice and even. That is an interesting question. Oh, excuse me. That was a lot bigger than I had thought it was going to be. And a lot louder than I had thought it was going to be, too. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so tired. Husband had a rough night sleeping, and I've been trying to stay awake as long as I could. But I was so tired from staying up the entire night before. It's been a while since I've done one of those. So I don't necessarily like putting the highlight, or the highlights, the reflections, there we go, that's the word I want, on the bodies of water with this medium. I find it's a little difficult to get the point across about what we just did. We will try to do it though. I'm just not a huge fan of the way it looks. So it doesn't really blend the way I want it to. It just kind of looks like stringy lines, but we'll give it a fair shot. And then you guys can decide if that's something that you want to do on yours, or if you're gonna be like, meh, I don't know. So our pen line here that we drew on our piece of felt, that's really just kind of sort of a guideline. Like, we don't have to stick to that line. We could come down a little bit further, we could stay up a little bit higher. I'm probably going to try to be close to it. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be like right on it. Kind of have to see how this is going to play out here. We might be able to get another chunk in there. Possibly. Now this yarn's a little bit thicker, so I am using acrylic yarn. Traditionally, most people will use roving, but you can use acrylic yarn as an alternative. The acrylic yarn's a little bit more budget friendly for me for what we're doing, and I know I could just buy like a huge amount of white and dye it. But I don't have time for that. I don't have energy for that. I don't have space for that. So this just works out better for me. And you can get some decent mileage out of a ball of yarn for the price point. So, and so many colors. So many colors to choose from. That's a rainbow and then some. we've got it all. If our room wasn't quite such a disaster, I would show you the fluff wall. Maybe one day we'll take a photo of the fluff wall. When we are in between projects. I've got a bunch of other stuff flanking it though, so I don't know. We'll see. Alright. Let's come back up to this top edge here. I'm gonna overlap a little bit into the color that we already have down. So it just kind of helps with any weird funky seams that might try to develop as we get everybody tapped into place here. I do have to go a little bit slower in this section because my needle is hitting a little bit of resistance, and that might be in the pad. Probably a section where I have a lot of fluff built up in our mat here. And yes, I did drift up into our shoreline here, kind of on purpose. I just want to make sure we're not getting anybody too out of sorts as we're working down in here. Now, it does mean we do have to be pretty careful. I was almost out of water. Lifting up. That wasn't too bad. Alright. So we just don't want to like distort everything when we go to rip up. See, I went to do that, it didn't move, it stayed, so just a little drop of water, there we go. That helped a bit. Do I want to keep coming in this way, or do I want to... That's a tough question to figure out. Because we could do either. And at this point, probably just personal preference as to how you want to deal with that. We'll get this all good and worked in here. And we have done all of the previous 10 tutorials up to this point. And I do have all of the other 10 stashed away. I haven't decided if we're gonna hand those out at the farmer's market or if we are gonna try to sell those. That I don't know. This is a good chunk of fluff here. We're gonna be stabbing this guy for a few minutes. Alright, I'm hoping I can get my my spinners put back outside. This weather lately has been crazy. Had us in a dangerous wind. I was like, oh no, you guys are gonna take off and go flying. And I can do without that nightmare. Thank you very much. And I brought my my bobbing flamingo in. We've named him Bingo. He's on a little stick and he's in the wind and he kind of just like bows up and down when the wind's gentle enough, which doesn't seem to happen all that frequently here. But I was watching him in the wind before this one set of storms came in and he was like just up against the little pole that he's attached to. I was afraid he was gonna snap. I was like, oh no. Like, I got you at a little, I don't even know what to call this place. It just was like garden sculptures and had like funky metal art and statues and all sorts of things. I almost want to, if we have the funds, stop in there again on our way home. But I don't know if we'd be able to find it again. Because it was in Tarpon Springs. We'll have to see. And I can try to replace it online, but the ones I saw online didn't look as good. Some of them looked a little bit more cheaply made, but were the same price, and I was like, I don't know. We're gonna be talking those kinds of prices. Almost rather just get the original. This color is kind of coming in here pretty good, pretty good. Sorry, I had to change how it was sitting. It's hard to find a chair that's comfy for the way I sit. And I know most people be like, well, sit normal and then you're fine. It doesn't quite work that way. I don't know how to sit normal for long periods of time. Doesn't quite work for me. There's a doggo in here, walking around. I'm not sure what doggo it is, though I have a sneaking suspicion I do know what doggo it is. I think it's Sassy Pants. But I'm not sure if he's still here or if he left. I don't hear his feet anymore, so he might have left. So we're making pretty good time so far on our water. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we are. All things considered. Alright, let me pop that guy up. For the thicker consistency that our water fluff is, it's not been doing too bad. And this chunk of fluff is still the same chunk that we popped out of the bag when we first got started, so we're getting some decent distance on this guy. So this week, my goal is to get that statue painted and sealed. We're supposed to have a chance of thunderstorms on Thursday, though. So I think if I'm gonna work on them, it's gonna have to be tomorrow. So that way the sealer has enough time to dry. I guess we'll have to see. Momo, are you having problems? I feel like there's something wrong. And I don't know if he's just hungry.
He's probably hungry.
Or if he's...
Zuzu took his space on the bed. Hi.
Zuzu, beep beep.
What's up, you two?
That's not your space, Zuzu.
They really want outside time. All right.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we can eat the grass outside because we're hungry. They're not starving, by the way. They get their food. They're just mad they can't have any treats right now.
Yeah, Momo's on a restricted diet to try to get a handle on his bladder problem. But
So they're just mad. And I understand why they're mad. But even when we were doing the special food for their mealtime, they were still getting goodies. And the vet's like, oh, no, it has to be this and only this. And we're like, oh.
What's up, Suzu?
Is there like a cat on the bed or something that he's mad about?
I'm gonna go look real quick.
He's been weird lately. Usually never leaves my mom's side. Unless he wants to go outside. And lately he's been sleeping in here with us.
Yeah, I don't know. Suzu, do you need to go peepers? You're checking my hands for goodies. Okay, obviously that's what you're here for.
Buddy, we don't have nothing.
Nope.
I mean, I know the cats have been pushy. We didn't, we tried to bring the outside cat in. We had her in the house and she saw all the other male cats and they were like, oh, who's this? And they kind of got in her space too fast, and she really needs to be able to come in on her own without any of the other guys being all up in her face. But she's so defensive outside, I really don't think this is gonna be feasible. So we'll have to see if she actually is pregnant. My mom wants a little critter of something, but we have to be mindful of what we get, because it has to be small. We're not sure how long we'll be in this location. And we're not going to be able to travel with a shit ton of animals. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll probably end up here. I mean, we might not end up moving. Kind of depends on what prices look like. And what we can afford. So we'll see. Alright, just working on getting our water in place here. Now we did start a little bit early today. I might end a little bit early today, we'll see. I'm really tired. Like, I did not want to get up when I did, but the allergies suddenly were just so bad. Cats, what are you doing? Sounds like you're getting into trouble. Over on the dead person's desk. And I feel like I'm about to get real mad. If Russell doesn't shut down his computer, he tends to have it on Discord. And the one night, somebody was climbing all over his keyboard and left quite the large message to send to his friend. We don't have nitro though, so it didn't go through. Thank goodness. Because there was so many blank lines on there. So, yay for not having that feature, although I don't know if it would have gone through even with it. I think they were actually sitting on the keyboard full on and not just stepping on it. Though they might have hit enter at one point for it to say the message was too long. I mean, that's possible. No, I'm like looking at this and I don't know. We might lose a little bit of that just to clean it up. I mean, I really shouldn't be even thinking that many steps ahead. But I think I'm also trying to justify it to my brain and like, it's okay, we can fix it. Alright. Get the next bit in here. Like, I'm sure, like, the unevenness probably does, you know, solidify that, yeah, this is handmade. And I'm sure it does give it a bit of its own personality. Hi, cat. Who is that? What cat is this? The cat just bumped my feet. But I don't know what it was. And now they're gone. So that happens. Streaming with cats. Always an adventure. Let's get back to it here. So this is going to be another swath of dirt coming in under the pond. And we're going to try to put in a pathway there, and I think there's a fence. Yeah, there's like a wire fence that goes in, and there's some shrubs that I believe are on the other side of the fence. Well, you know what? I'm not sure which side of the fence they're on. Because with the colored pencils, it's hard to tell. How exactly I did that. Alright, so get this guy worked into here. Okay, so far that's pretty good. Not seeing too many odd seams and stuff. Suzu, you need to get out of your brother's bed.
He's up and sitting his brother now. Are you ready, Suzu? You want to turn? Come on. Give me some of that. Come on.
Suzu, go with Dad.
Come on. You want to go outside?
No, they're just really mad over breakfast and lunch and shenanigans. It would seem. Like, Momo was pissed last night when I was eating my dinner. He did not understand why he couldn't have any, even though he already had his dinner. That guy up there. So this guy's still a little feels like he could get a little more tapping. Didn't feel like he was quite as attached as I like them to be. So we're all bunchy up in here, because I haven't brought it all the way over yet. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely. I do like to do the overlapping business a bit. It just kind of hides. Well, sometimes. It depends on the color of the yarn, I guess. Or your fiber. Sometimes it can help it blend a little bit more seamlessly into the picture. If you're doing like sheets of fluff and not... What's the matter?
Your mother changed her mind and decided to freeze the bacon by throwing it into the freezer in the packaging. You know, so that it comes out as a solid block that you can't actually use.
When did she do that?
I might still have time to save it. Eileen?
Russell was going to take the bacon and put it between pieces of parchment and cut it in like half length so that it could be stored properly. Okay. It wouldn't like be so bad, but it was like 5 packs or 5 double packs of bacon. Because she had been going through so much that we didn't quite understand how she was going through that many packs of bacon. She was making it and giving most of it to the dog. She wasn't eating that much of it. We're like, no. They don't need all of that. Hold on, I'm trying to find something. I'll be right with you guys. But I can't type with these. Were you able?
I don't know. I haven't tried yet. I'm gonna put my earphones on because I've got like 4 packs of bacon to process. It's gonna take a little bit.
Alright, we need to get some more fluff. Did she say how long ago she put it in the freezer?
I didn't ask. It's not completely frozen, so I might be able to get it.
Be careful. He had like wanted to do that like a week or 2 ago. Oh, wow, hey, cool. Huh. Oh, nothing. I accidentally found something on Spotify. Very much by accident. So these guys did Linkin Park. They did Studio Ghibli songs.
Ah, okay.
And it looks like they did some Disney stuff too. That's kind of cool. RSO. I'm not a fan of that. No. Maybe this one. Sorry, you guys. I just suddenly fell down a rabbit hole by accident. I'm trying to build up a playlist for when I'm doing art. Sometimes I want like the Fall Out Boy, the Matchbox 20 and all that with the lyrics and everything. Sometimes I just want some instrumental stuff that I can just get lost in the background. That I can kind of listen to but tune out at the same time. To have it just kind of hover. So it's kind of fun when I come across something that I'm like, hey, oh, that might be neat. Looked like that was pulling a little too tight. So I just wanted to come back in there. And lift that section up. Alright, probably about time that we rotated that guy. Oh yeah, that's not looking too bad coming in here. We do have like a bit of like a bunchiness right here. Let's see if we can fix that. Don't know if we can. We're gonna try though. Sorry, I had some water there. Alright, let's see if we can start to get this cleaned up here. I might need to stab in here, and that's fine. It's not a huge deal. We just might have to just reestablish our section in here, get it to behave a little bit better. Okay, let's see here. We can move the mat out of the way. Let me just see if we can get this guy back to being somewhat flat. And we can. Okay. So let's see if we can work you into about here. Let's see. Might have to add a little bit of patchwork in between where some of these sections meet. If we start to get too much of our base color kind of exposed in between. But so far, we've been pretty good with that. In this section. So reasonably happy. With how we're slogging through here. Alright, let's go ahead and lift you up gently. Yeah, it's not so bad. Still kind of feels like it wants to be a little bit uneven there. Could just be the way the mat is. I do have a bump right there. Did I add this one? Okay, I did add that one. Wow, these guys have done a lot of stuff. Do that one. Huh. Wow. Orchestra versions of Rammstein. Interesting. Very interesting. wow, they've just done so much stuff. Just keeps going and going and going. That was not enough. There we go. Been only putting like a couple of drops in our little lid there. And my fingers today have been grabbing quite a lot of it. Although it also looks like we've been dripping a fair bit of it all over the place. I got a little bit more editing done last night on the Flamingo Gouache speed paint. Got that 5-hour live stream knocked down to 3 hours and 40 minutes so far. I'm glad when my backlog of editing is done, because I've been spending like every waking moment, it seems, that I'm sat down at my computer working on editing. Although as soon as we're done editing the Flamingo Gouache, then the husband's gonna probably be done with his pass on the speed felt on episode 10's tutorial that we followed, that I need to do my pass on and add the audio to. And then this one will be ready to get started. It's just a never-ending cycle. I wasn't sure why that was getting quite so domey there. Wasn't sure if it was me or just the way it was laying. It might have been the way it was laying. Let me see. How do you look down here? I mean, you're a little loose in there, but not terribly so. So we'll see. There's so many people that they've done that I just don't know what their music sounds like. Added that one. Oh, we got some sirens. They even have a wow, they've got a lot of Christmas stuff. I added that one already. Don't really know that one or them. Only heard like 2 of their songs. Well, we're just gonna like throw a bunch on this and see what sticks, because I can always remove it. from what I'm listening to. Oh, I do need to stretch out that leg though. That leg's not happy. Well, if I like that one, I can add that to the other playlist. Wow, they've done a lot. Like, a lot of stuff. I'm still going through the list. Huh. Like, I don't think I'm gonna like all of these, but we'll see. Jeez. The, like, amount of stuff they've done is never ending, it seems. Did I add this one already? I don't remember. No, I was going to. Oh, we did. Okay. There you go. Orchestra versions of Metallica and Led Zeppelin. That's quite a combo there. Try not to get distracted too hard, but part of me wants to keep scrolling through that list. There's a little squirrel in my brain that's like, no, go back, we're not done. I'm like, yeah, but we also need to, you know, work on our stream here. That's not going anywhere. My recommendations wasn't really giving me anything else new to add to the one playlist. I'm like, well, it's a very odd playlist for... It's mostly instrumental. It's not all instrumental, but it's mostly. But I've got like Lindsey Sterling on there. I've got 2 cellos on there. I've got shit, what else is on there? I've got a couple other short stuff things, some piano covers of some Linkin Park, and I was like, wasn't there like a Linkin Park orchestra? And I kind of found these guys by accident. Okay. We might need... That was way too much. What are you doing, child? Way too much. Way too much. Well, hey, yay for the contact paper. Because that just beaded everything right on up. I guess. Made a mess everywhere else, but... I've been trying to be so careful, and I let my guard down thinking, oh, the other times I got just enough in there. Nope, this time I just dumped it on. Oh, my brain. Brain, if you could stop being silly. At least it was cold water. And clean water. So we didn't burn ourselves. We didn't make a mess. I mean, we made a mess, but it'll dry. Where it went that I couldn't wipe it up, it'll dry. Some of it hit my chair. A lot of it's in my shirt, like on my shirt, absorbed into my shirt. Some of it hit my leg. I'm sure some of it hit the floor. It's okay. We have a throw rug down. Alright. So, next bit of fluffy stuff. Waste not, want not. Like, the desk is clean. We don't have any other fuzzes or anything's over there. Let's do that one. Oh, it feels like a lot of it's on my sock too. Who the heck are Mumford and Sons? I've never heard of them. Are they like an older band? That I've just never heard of before? I'm not familiar with this song, but let's see how this goes. All right. We will get this guy nice and tapped in here. And then we'll be looking pretty good. We're almost done our water. Well, the base of the water. So then I need to come back in. And we need to attempt some of our reflection-y guys. I think it's kind of cute that the back is so clear, if fuzzy, this time. Some of them just are so muddled on the back that you can kind of see. This one's pretty clear. So that's kind of fun. I'll say my mom was so mad last night when they were doing, because of the tornado warnings, like all of the local stations were doing coverage on it because they had to be on the air for the tornado warnings. And it was right in the middle of, or right as American Idol was starting. She was not pleased. And then the one weather anchor was like, he was going through email of damaged photos that had been sent in, and he goes, and there's the typical usual angry emails about us being on the air for tornado coverage. He's like, we have to be on the air for this. Kind of serious. I think he's kind of used to the angry emails by now. But yeah, guys, don't waste your breath. Don't waste your energy writing angry emails about them not being, or about them being on the air for tornado coverage. Because you know what? If a tornado was barreling down on your specific town, you'd be fucking pissed if they weren't on the air. Why didn't we get any kind of warning? Why wasn't anybody... Well, because you sent in angry emails. I was kind of mad that they weren't even on Facebook Live right when everybody else was. So I don't know what was going on with that. Were you able to save any of it? Were you able to salvage any of it?
No. I can chop it into pieces and use those pieces for bacon bits or soup or something, but I cannot separate them. Your mom's going to try to thaw one out to use it, but it's not going to work.
I mean, she'd have to cook the entire pack.
I mean, it would be safe. It's just going to be garbage because all the cell walls are going to be broken because it's bacon. So it's going to be floppy, disgusting, gross bacon, but... Is
it on a tray that she's thawing it out on?
No, she just chucked it in the bag. She hasn't thawed it out yet. She just froze it.
But it's in something to contain the liquid that's going to come out of it?
There's no liquid to come out of it yet. It's not thawing. It's in the freezer. When she takes it out, she'll have to put it in something.
Oh, I thought you meant she just took it out now.
No. She just put it in, but it's just solid enough that I can't do anything with it.
All that money on bacon is my mom's money. We told her to tell us so that Russell could process it into a usable form. Oh boy. So we are gonna have to fluff a few more colors here when we're done this project to top off all of our colors we got going here. Alright, so this guy's a bit bigger. See if we can do a bigger chunk here. If possible. If not, well then we tried, but we'll just put some more patches on top of it if need be. Cover any sections that decided not to cooperate. I've had a couple of months of my eyelid not twitching, and last night I sneezed and it started again. I'm so mad. So mad. Like, why? Crunch, 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 crunch. Kind of sounds like we're running through the snow or gravel. Like just a little bit. So that little end bit there didn't quite get tacked down there. So now that should be good to go. where do I want to place you exactly? Like, I'm okay if a little bit of the dark brown on the edge of our watering hole bleeds up through it in any potential thin spaces. That's fine. Like, that's not a huge deal. It actually works to our advantage. Just a bit. So like that I'm totally okay with. Section in here is a little bit thicker. Let's see, is it the pad? It might be a combo of the fluff on the surface and fluff hanging down there. Alright. Plus, you know, my slightly misshapen pad. It's fine. I mean, we were using this side for a while, but now this side's a little wobbly, so I don't know. We'll probably just keep using this side. Because, like, when we lay it out flat, we are actually getting a bit of a bump there. Uh-oh. Let's not go stabbing ourselves here, okay? Alright, well, let's just relay all of that down. Just to kind of prevent any major problems there. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm like not totally surprised that happened. Not really. Kind of got fluff going in all different directions in there. Alright. Now let's see what we can do up into here. It'll just be on the edge of our brown here. Kind of clinging onto it with our little tiny fingers of fiber. Yeah, so today's probably going to be just getting our water in place. And then we'll have to do our little reflection guys. Like, we don't have that much further to go on the water, but we do have a little bit. So just a little bit. What you doing?
Nothing.
You were cutting something.
Oh yeah, I'm cleaning up the kitchen junk drawer. I'm using some of the butcher paper to put a new lining in it.
Could you clean the back of the sink?
Back in the sink? Yeah, sure.
That crevice?
Huh?
That crevice?
Yeah.
Okay. You're in a cleaning mood. Excuse me. Alright. So we're getting there. We've actually done fairly well today, considering I squirreled. Quite a bit. And fell down a rabbit hole of grabbing some music to put on for what I'm listening to. You guys can't hear it because, you know, copyright and all that. But at the moment I'm listening to the Roma Symphony Orchestra doing covers of some songs. Alrighty. Got that piece just about tacked down. Okay. Got just a little bit further to go, and you know what? We're looking pretty good on seams and stuff. So that's encouraging here. Haven't really had any thin spots open up in between our colors. We've been pretty good about how we're laying them down. Now I've got some stuff that I can listen to while I'm editing. Because my brain, like, needs something else going on in the background for me to, like, actually be able to focus. Alright, that was a little too wet. Oops. Oops-a-doodles. Alright. This guy worked in down here. That one spot is just not having it. And I don't want to force it because I don't know if it's surface resistance or further in resistance. Alright, we need a bit more blue. Almost there. This is too much blue, I think, but it's alright. We can put it back in bag when we're all done. What's that?
Oh, I was trying to figure out where the masking tape ended up.
The wide masking tape or the thin masking tape?
Either one.
I have the thin masking tape because I've been using it. How much tape are you looking for?
Not a whole bunch.
Because I need to get more.
Yeah, no, I only need maybe twice around the wheel or something. Not much. Thank you.
The wide ones I think is on your desk. Okay. That overlapped quite a great deal. Quite, oh my god, I can't speak all of a sudden, quite a great deal more than I thought it was going to. If we manage to finish the water today, at 2 o'clock, we might. Then we'll have to start in on our pathway here. And get that sorted out. That actually was a really thick piece of fluff here. Didn't think I had it quite that thick. Surprise! Alright, I'm gonna pop this up even though that's not fully attached yet. Just because I don't want it to get too attached in there, considering its length. Oh, I'm so excited for the Planet Zoo Pack tomorrow. So excited. I saw a quick snippet of, I guess, somebody that's on their media list. One of the YouTubers. And they had a copy of it already that they were playing with. And the guests actually will interact with some of the new animals. Like, there was some people petting goats, and there was, like, guests crouched down with their hands out, like they were trying to feed the chickens out of their hands. Oh my god, that was great. My fingers here, it's just gentle finger weight pressure. I'm not like pushing down. Just kind of hanging out, resting on this bit here. Might need to put a little piece right there, just because I don't like the shape that seemed to take on. But we're just about there with this color. Okay, I can see a tiny bit of that color getting left behind, but not too much of it, actually. This one's kind of staying put. That's not quite what I wanted to do. There we go. I need you to overlap just the slightest bit. Okay, guys. That is what will be most helpful to me. One more section to fill in here, right in here. And then I think we'll be fairly good to go with this color. That should be probably pretty decent. Start to tap you in here. Work on getting you all worked in here. And hopefully when we're done working you into place, they're not terribly obvious. Sometimes they can be, especially if the shape is vastly different than the rest of it around it. Not too bad. So are you gonna try to sit flat here or what? Oh, there I go, flinging water everywhere again. At least it's only water, right? So this one, I don't know what happened here. We're like all over the place on that edge. I mean, I might be able to stab it back in. Maybe. But it might be just less aggravating to try to go in and just trim it. To be perfectly honest. Alright. Okay, so let's put our blue fluff back in the blue fluff bag, and I'm pretty sure that we are all done with that color. So it's going to go back up on the fluff wall, because we didn't need that much for that one. Now, we need to get our reflections in here as best as we can. So this is going to be tricky. Like really tricky. So just kind of have to, we want real thin lines here. Like, I don't know if it's really gonna quite work out the way I'm hoping it does. See, it doesn't look right. It looks like there's something in the water. So it doesn't really work with this. Because no matter what I do with it, it's gonna be like really dark. So I think I might just open it, because it's just not gonna look right. Which is why I've skipped a lot of doing that. Alright, we can take our click our white here though. Like, it only kinda worked on the last one, and not really that great. This is way too much white. Way too much white. Alright, so I don't think he adds it in all of the places, just some places. Okay. So I don't know if we're gonna take that all the way around. Let's advance the tutorial and just kind of see. Okay. So when we're done with the water, just putting that tree in already. Oh, and that's a separate, huh? Oh. Now that looked very... That looked very different on the end piece. To my brain. Huh? Bob, what are you doing? Oh, he's putting that up there. Okay. Okay. I'm so confused. Because the way he dropped that in there, it looked like it was sitting further back. And then he dropped the trunks in. And then it looked like it was a lot forward. He's rushing now. You can tell. He like suddenly started to really super speed that up. Well, I don't know what to do next then. He used his dark color. So what does that mean for us? Okay, the shrubs are behind the fence, I guess. Yeah, he's fucking running now. At least it feels like he is. And the path is going in there. Bob, you better hurry. You still have a section here that you didn't do. And he gets those guys down in there. So does the path just stop, or is it like implied that it goes down that hill there? So was he signing it? Yeah. He got really behind there. Alright. Well, Bob. You've kind of got me at a loss, because I don't... Like, is that something different in the background, or was it all supposed to be in the front? Like, my brain is having a hard time with that. Like, this stuff feels closer, right? But that thing in the back... I'm wondering if it's, like, two separate trees? Like, I just don't know here. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. We'll finish putting in our tree line here. Not our tree line. Where am I getting tree line from? Our water line. There we go. Get this popped into here. So ours is shaped a little bit differently in tons of ways here. So we kind of have to figure out how we want to approach that. a little tail flipped up into there. Like the waterline, we can try to get in there. That's kind of a little bit more doable. So we'll get that popped into there. I mean, it's not too bad. Still not quite sure how we're going to handle this next part because my brain is confused. Like, it almost looked like a separate bit of shrubbery and maybe a background tree. And then those, because then he had a darker one, like right at the very top, right? So I don't know. Because then when he started filling in the highlights, he might have highlighted that further back. I gotta look at that again before we make a full ass decision on what we're gonna do with that. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Where did it go? There it is. Took off in that direction. He had a couple ripples just like out in the middle somewhere. I don't know how that's gonna look here. It might not even be all that noticeable. Okay, now it is a little bit noticeable that I skipped that one spot. I had skipped it on purpose, but now it feels a little silly that it's missing. Okay, so let's rewatch this again, because my brain is like, what am I supposed to do here? So he gets sort of like a lighter dark color, and he puts in this whole thing, right? Like the top of it's kind of dark and it's getting lighter as he's coming down. And it's like, oh, okay, so we've got a tree back in there. But then he stops and he gets more paint on his brush and he continues it down and through there, and it's a lot darker. And it looks like it's a different plane. Like the other half of that got pushed back. But then he puts a trunk from the very top down into that darker section that looked like it was a plane forward. Alright, well, he's highlighting that stuff at the base of the tree. And then he's over here for the stuff along the pathway. And then he comes back up to the tree. He's highlighting that very top. Well, no, he starts highlighting the rest of it, too. So it is all one. Even though it looked like it was all the way back. Okay. So we're gonna not do that hay wheel thing because the angle I've got our barn at is just not gonna work. Alright, where are we? We're about there, I guess. Well. The white away. I guess we'll go back to our chocolate brown. And we'll pull out a clump of that. Now, did he go all the way to the tippy top? He did. Okay. Just see if I can get this bumped in. Just a little bit. I mean, I was trying to stay on our line, and I thought for the most part we did. Okay, that really didn't do a whole heck of a lot. So let's get some of this pulled apart here. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna turn you for this. Now we might have to add a bit more. Of this down in here, and that's fine. Like, that's not a huge deal. Alright, so just trying to get this tapped into place here. Yeah, for sure. That whole section needs a bit more. Is that completely in place? Jesus Christ, loud vehicles. Do you mind? My goodness. Can I like half that a bit? Just don't want us getting too filled in here too fast. Like, because it's me, it's probably going to end up being pretty much filled in solid. This I've already come to accept. But kind of want to be like right up on our edge here. Yeah, it's just gonna end up being pretty solid. That's all right. Gonna work on getting this guy tapped into place here. Okay, now it still looks a little weird because of where we're at in its process. Trying not to make it look quite so boxy, but that's just something I'm gonna have to be okay with. At this very moment. Okay, so this kinda it was just kind of like a blob of brown that he just kind of hammered in back in through here. And I can't really explain all that well. Just kind of happened. And like some of it's going off the edge. Just kind of have to stick with it. Maybe go with less is more for just a minute. Just kind of slowly build it into here. Okay. P-Bot, what are you doing? Don't be knocking my stuff everywhere, bud. Thanks for dropping that on Momo. That's helpful. Brat. Momo, give me 1 second.
What's going on now?
P-Bot knocked one of my sculptures down on top of him.
Oh.
Or at least it sounded like it did. I heard it hit something.
Was your zebra up? Oh,
no.
that was your fluff falling.
Something fell.
I don't know what it is.
Unless it, yeah. There it is. Didn't hit
Oh.
Momo. You could have just jumped up on the edge of the crab tank stand, like Cow does. But no, P-Bot has to be P-Bot and take the most convoluted way to get up there. Okay, so this is, he brings this like all the way down. Like all the way. Which is really kind of surprising. We do lose a good amount of our trees back there. Ah! Like, I don't want to lose the entirety of our cloud here, but there were a few dangly branchy bits that were kind of sticking out here. We still have to come back and highlight this guy up. So I'm gonna just bump that tutorial forward just a little bit so I can kind of see our basic shape here that we're kind of looking for. Okay, so he kind of like brings it down to the ground there, but then he comes back and he just kind of keeps bringing it on down. Which feels kind of strange to me. Like, I don't feel like we're quite there yet. A good amount of this does get covered up, doesn't it? Say, all right, Bob, we're trying to go with you here on this one, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one. I definitely feel confused. This is a lot of brown fluff we're bringing into this. Gosh, I might not have fluffed enough of this. We've used a lot of this color this go round. Like, I don't know if it was because he was rushing, but like that one section of this tree looked like, okay, it's supposed to be further back, and then he came back in and highlighted the whole thing, and it looks like it can't decide where it wants to be, unless it's just the way I'm processing how he did it. So I'm struggling on how to translate this for my brain. Because I feel like I'm doing it wrong. I guess there's no real solid wrong. Hi, what's that? Again? Really? Alright, you guys, give me 1 minute.
What's the matter?
Sorry about that. The doggo had to potty. Where did we leave off? Alright, I think we're in here. This hadn't quite gotten fully attached. At least not to my liking. All right. We'll get this put into here. That's okay. I needed to get up and stretch for a minute anyhow. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and just finish out advancing that. So we've got a good amount here. No, I just pulled you out of there. Stop it. So then this guy can kind of sit here, I suppose. And we'll get this silhouette section, shadowy section popped into here. At least we're trying to. Alright. That one section in the middle of it kind of needs a little bit more. That's a little thin. Even though it's supposed to be like some trees and stuff, I want that just to be a little bit more filled in for me personally. just so I'm a bit happier with it. Alright, I'll probably leave a little bit of that poking through. And then this guy kind of comes on down into here. And we'll get that worked in. Right down through here, and then I think I know he's got it a bit more haphazard and thinned out and stuff in through here, but I think I'm gonna have this bottom section a bit thicker where it's just the gray. Right, so like in here, I'm just gonna do solid. I feel like that is what is going to benefit us a bit more. In this very instance. Still not quite sure how I managed to do this, where we're so stretched out, zigzaggy. I don't know. My own derangedness? I don't know. Okay. I think we're gonna have to definitely fluff more of this color. So I'm just leaving puddles of water all over the place here. Work on getting this guy. Filled into here. kind of want you sitting up on top of that. Yes, definitely. Want that to happen. Because this section is kind of slightly higher, maybe. And we're gonna have some shrubbery poking up a little bit, but I want to make sure our ground here is pretty solid. Okay. Should probably finish filling this part in before we get too far along here. Doesn't look too strange. Okay. We'll get all of this stuff worked into here. Crunch, 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 crunch. Okay. So I'm not sure. I mean, that's probably all right. So we're gonna have to trim this guy up pretty good. Everything's all said and done anyhow. Cal, you've been in all kinds of trouble today. Meow, what? He kept trying to get into our box spring again. I even caught him behind our bed up against the wall. Somehow he managed to get into there. And was fucking with some of our cables and stuff that we've got. I had to chase them out from back there. So we're a small bit of a mess here. Just a small bit. I think we'll be okay though. And we are just putting all of the large color sections in today. Or we're certainly trying to. That is probably going to need... Well, no, maybe not. Wasn't sure if we were going to need to put a patch on that section there. That should be alright. At least I think it'll be alright. We'll find out, I guess. Did he just go in the other room and start meowing? Ah, yes, the time of day when traffic starts to pick up exponentially. All right. Mondays are always such a long day. Like, we don't, for some reason, I think our old mail delivery person either retired or they got put on a different route or something. Oh, he's back. Because now on Monday, a lot of the times, we don't get our mail till almost 6:30 at night, which is weird because we used to get it at like 11, 2 was late. Like the one Monday we thought we didn't get mail because it had come so late. Hi, buddy. Meow. What? Don't you be getting into trouble back there. You can look out the window. That's fine. What is the matter? Well, you guys have been acting weird the past couple of days. Yeah. Like, weirder than normal. And I'm not quite sure what to make of this. Okay. So, I know it's a hot mess at the moment. Quite a hot mess at the moment. But this is part of getting this guy in here. We have to be a little bit more thorough with getting this base color in here. Okay. So I think we might stop there for today. I'm getting super hungry. So I'm gonna need to go find something to eat. But we didn't do half bad. I mean, we got our water in, and we've started to put in our blobbies for our tree section over here. I'm not sure if we're gonna have to fluff more brown for us to finish that section. I might need to try to get that done this week just to make sure we have enough. But yeah, so far not too bad, and we're slowly getting there. Couple more sessions and we'll probably be wrapped up. I need to start thinking about what color I want our hanger to be on this one. Not really sure. Going a brown might be too dark on it. I don't know. Going like a purple might be too much. Maybe we'll look at like a pumpkin, maybe an orangey color. We'll see. But thanks for joining me this afternoon. My sinuses have also had enough, so drowning in snot. Don't forget to follow the links to the socially do's down below. There's links for the Ko-fi, the Instagram, the Twitter X, and the YouTube. We'll be back on Thursday, migraine permitting, of course, for some Coral Island, as we are working our way slowly through that game. And Friday we'll be back in Planet Zoo. Saturday we'll be painting, and next Sunday we'll be back working on this guy. So progress is getting there, and I thank you guys and have a good week.